Hey everyone, and welcome back. Just adjusting the camera there was a little bit off-centered, but I think things are good now. Hopefully, everyone is ready because tonight we've got actually a lot of stuff to look at. So, if this is your first time here, the Warp Zone is a weekly show where we go over all of the Nintendo Switch news. We also look at some of the most notable new Switch games coming out this week. We even sometimes dipped into news for other consoles and whatnot, but I've got to say that this week we've got a lot of Switch stuff to go over. So we're probably not going to be diving into anything else other than maybe some of the stories being somewhat related to other consoles. So hopefully you guys are ready to buckle in and take a look at this. There's also going to be a slight change that I've talked about it before, but tonight I'm going to officially, it's going to be the first day we're actually going to do it. And give me just a sec because I just realized my chroma key is on because everything that is green was transparent. Fix that really quick. But yeah, so basically, we're going to finally be implementing a small change that I talked about a little while back, just to start and sort of streamline things here on the channel to make sure that we set ourselves up for some success in the future. And I think success is always the way we want to aim for. And that is what we are going to always continue to aim to do here at Maple Syrup Gaming and Tech. So, honestly, the more and more I think about it over the years, I should drop the end tech, but I just don't because it's such a staple now that I'm awesome. The leftovers of last week's cold. Sorry about that, guys. I'll try to not do that again. But yeah, so yeah, the end tech is such a staple on the channel that I think I'm gonna leave it for probably there forever, but. I almost never say it anymore. Like even when someone asks what's the name of your channel, I generally say like Maple Syrup Gaming. And honestly, if you type it on YouTube, you don't need to type more than that and you get to the channel. So hopefully you guys, like I said, are doing well tonight. We've got a lot of stuff to go over. Title of the episode, you'll see some of the major stuff. We're going to be talking about the Pokemon Presents that will be happening later this week. I'll talking about whether we'll be streaming it or not. We'll be talking about the fact that, unfortunately, some gold points are disappearing. Yeah. A very, very good Nintendo program is soon disappearing. We're going to be talking about Samurai Pizza Cats being back, some updates to some other games that are coming to Switch that are pretty interesting and that I think deserve some looking at. We're going to talk again about the update to the Power Rangers game, because if you picked up Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, or if you were thinking about picking it up, it just got even better than ever to pick that game up. We're going to touch back, for those who didn't see the separate video on the Cyber Shadow Physical Edition. A bunch of stuff tonight, honestly, a bunch of like little stories. And not only that, but we've got a lineup of new games coming out this week. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games that I want to go over for this week. And it's another special week. Although I've got to say there's a few like bigger known games out this week. There's still some really odd games on this week's list, but they're so odd that I have to talk about them. So I'm actually really excited to see what you guys are going to think about those games, because some of them are like balls to the wall crazy. I'm sorry, like I said, still fighting off the ends of last week's cold. Friday was actually pretty good. I don't know. I had like a huge boost of like, I don't know, immunosuppressants or whatnot, because I was actually feeling like top notch. But today it's weird. It's like I took a step back for today. Okay. So before we get into things, because I want to give time for people to get here, I did start a little bit later than usual, so maybe some people weren't expecting it to happen anymore. But I just want to let you all know, if ever I do cancel a show or a live stream that is normally scheduled, I will always put out a notification on the channel. So if you go to the community section of the channel and there's not a notification that it is canceled, you guys can assume it's happening. Of course, unless there's such a major emergency that I cannot even put out a post, but that would it would have to be something like major. If not, I try to always keep you guys informed because I know some people try to make it to each and every show, and I wouldn't want you guys waiting around for something that's not going to happen. So I'm going to say hi to so far the people I see in the chat. Welcome to Naki, Nabil, Once Kilos, and Neo Blitz. Welcome back to the channel, guys. So I'm going to start maybe with the first update since this is not officially a story. The replays of the Warp Zone are no longer going to be on the main channel. We're always going to be streaming from the main channel, like tonight, like at this moment. But after the live stream is over, the replay will go on the side channel. If you are not subscribed yet to the side channel, it is Maple Syrup Gaming Extra, okay? And that's XTRA. You'll see the symbol for the channel is almost identical to the symbol on our channel, so you'll know it's our channel. And that's where I'm going to start to post some of the content that I'm not going to say, because the Warp Zone is very good content, but I think that most people that are subbed to Maple Syrup Gaming and Tech are more for the edited content and the more straightforward content. Maybe not the long form, like 3-hour long streaming content. So those replays are going to be posted to the side channel. It's simply to streamline things, to make sure that people that sub to a channel are getting videos they want to see. And I don't want to get into the whole analytics thing of YouTube. It's just to help the YouTube analytics for the channel. Because basically, when live streams get posted as a video after, the fact that not a lot of people are watching the replay or not as many people are watching it as the other videos, what it does is it lowers the average view count on your videos. And unfortunately, that makes it harder for your other videos to sort of reach a wider audience because YouTube is like, oh, this guy's going up and down. Some people really watch a lot of his videos, and other people don't watch a lot of his videos. So it basically doesn't help the channel. So they will still be available on YouTube. They will just generally be posted probably in the next morning on the side channel. Okay. So now that's out of the way, I think it is time for us to jump straight into the stories for this week. And we're going to start with the story that was covered by one of my favorite YouTubers on YouTube, myself. That is the release of the Cyber Shadow Physical Edition. So I'm going to make myself a little smaller here. I was a little bit bigger here when I was recording yesterday. So if you did not know, one of my all-time favorite Switch games, and like I said, no joke, this is one of my all-time favorite Switch games. There's maybe one other game I can think of quickly off the top of my head that can actually match this in the sense of favorite. And, you know, I'm going to repeat what I said in the video. There is a difference in my viewpoint between the objectively best game and the subjectively favorite game. It is two different things. I can say that there are games on the Switch that are better than Cyber Shadow, but it does not mean I like them more. Okay, so there's a objective and subjective. Cyber Shadow is subjectively one of my favorite Switch games. Although I would definitely say that I would rate it a 9.5 to 10 out of 10. Okay, but it is getting finally a physical edition. And it is going to be launching on February 27th at 6 p.m. Wow. Hey, what a Freudian slip there. At 6 p.m. GMT. And let's go take a look at 6 p.m. GMT to EST. So that is 1 p.m. on 1 p.m. So on 1 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, these are going to go live. I will be buying the Cyber Shadow Switch Deluxe Edition here. Now, this is in Canadian dollars, okay? This is in Canadian rubles, which is why the prices look so high. But if we go down here to United States dollars, so, you know, the mighty dollar, it is $73 for Cyber Shadow. Which game is my favorite? We will keep that for another time. I'm not going to say, you know why? Because I'm going to do a top 10 list. Oh, I guarantee you, like, I'm a little bit late on that, but as soon as the Switch 2 is announced, I will be in top 10 mode. Okay? Once the Switch 2, we have a release date, I will basically start on the top 10 lists of like my all-time, like the best Nintendo Switch games, my favorite Nintendo Switch games, which will be two very different lists, maybe only 2 or 3 overlaps between the two lists. We will be looking at like best Metroidvanias, best, action platformers. Like, I plan on trying to do like a one top 10 list a week. Okay, that will be my goal. Am I gonna manage to do it? I do not know, but that will be the goal that I will try to meet. But getting back to the story at hand, we have Cyber Shadow. So Cyber Shadow is going to have a physical edition. It's actually pretty fun because even if you get one on PS5, it's $32.21. But as a lot of people mentioned, PS5 games seem to not work without an online connection. Meaning that, to me, like, if the network goes down, some PS5 games actually stop working altogether, even if you have a physical edition of the game, which is scary, meaning that I would definitely go with a physical version of the Switch for an extra $7. If you have both systems, I'm not sure Cyber Shadow really runs any better on the PS5 because I did not notice any performance issues when I was playing Cyber Shadow on the Switch whatsoever. But I would definitely go with the physical edition of Cyber Shadow. And it's pretty cool because even the base edition comes with a pretty decent inclusion of things. So if you, like I said, we're not going to spend too much time because there is a full video on my channel with me going over each one of the packages and what's in them. But basically, even the base edition, you get a full color manual, you get a sticker sheet, you basically get a set of three trading cards, even though there's 5 different trading cards, so you don't get them all. But basically, for a base physical edition around $40, it is actually pretty decent, especially considering that the base game itself sells for $30, like on the eShop. So a $10 markup for what you're getting in here, plus the physical edition, is not bad. Only problem is that super rare games are in the EU, so you might have to pay import charges. You will most likely have to pay shipping. But I would say if you are a fan of this game, I think there's 2 kinds of people. Either there's 3 kinds of people. There's the people that are going to buy the game and be like, this game is too hard and won't like it. Then there are 2 other kinds of people. The people that haven't played Cyber Shadow yet and don't know it's an amazing game, and the people that have played Cyber Shadow and know it's an amazing game. So basically, if you're in any of the 2 other categories other than this game is too hard category, this is probably one of the best physical releases on the Switch. And I'm guaranteed I'm getting this because this game, I have this odd feeling that it's going to be hard to pick up in the future. Okay? The developer that made it made one game. It's amazing. Well, he made other games, but I mean, he made Cyber Shadow. He hasn't made anything else to my knowledge. And basically, you just need to get it. And DJ, can you use it 12 months after you receive them? Yes, we're going to go over the gold coins. Don't worry. Yeah, we're going to go over the gold coin story. So we're going to go over all of that stuff. But basically, quick reminder, if we go to the deluxe edition, you get so much more. You get fridge magnets, amazing. A double CD soundtrack, one of the best soundtracks on the Switch. Shadow, an enamel pin, maybe my low point of the collection. I'm not a super pin guy. A sticker sheet, once again, like the regular edition. You're supposed to get a full set of the trading cards. So this, you don't have to worry. You get all 5 of the trading cards. And you get a clamshell box. So I'm getting automatically the deluxe edition. Like I said, if you want to go even into more details, take more time, check out my video on the channel. We go over everything. Story 1 is done. Dude, I have an optical drive. I still have a vinyl player. I have Mega Man. I have Mega Man 2 and 3 soundtracks on vinyl. You guys dude, come on. This is one of my, like, when I don't know what to listen to and I put music on in the background, I put my Mega Man 2 and 3 vinyl on my vinyl player. And I do still have an optical drive. It's somewhere around here. But I have a USB optical. I still have a USB optical drive that I can plug in when I need it. Yeah, but they're like $15. You can get $15 and they work. Like the $15 ones work. Like it's so cheap now. Like there's no reason not to have one because it honestly can be used for so many things. You can even get some that can play Blu-rays for like maybe an extra $10-20. It's like they're super cheap. Like honestly, and just in case you get a Blu-ray, like Blu-ray movie or something like that, and you want to watch it on your computer, to me it's like I don't see the reason not to have one, like, to be totally honest. Like, you don't need a permanent one in the computer anymore, but to not have a detachable one that you can just plug in, like, there's no reason not to have one. Okay. We're not going to spend too much time, though, talking about optical drives, because you know me and going off on tangents, it can take some time. So let's jump straight into one of the major stories for this week. And it's one of the sad stories. So let's get the sad story out of the way. So after that, we can talk about the cool stuff. Nintendo, unfortunately, okay, so hopefully you guys can hear me, but there is no video. The video will be coming back any second, okay? Within the next minute or two, you should be getting video once again. I'm so sorry. Everything is going to be back online very shortly. I had unfortunately, my quick power outage. The lights flashed and it reset my PC. Okay. The video will be coming back very shortly. It's loading. It's loading. I'm so sorry, guys. It sucks. It sucks. You guys might be able to see. Yeah, you can see that part. So we're here. You won't be. My camera is going to come up a little bit quicker in a few minutes, in a few moments. Oh, that sucks. It basically my lights just flashed. Okay, there we go. There we go. We're back. We're back. Let me just make sure that the audio stuff is loaded. Like, I know you can hear me, but like there's some other audio stuff that needs to be loaded. And this needs to be loaded. Okay, so we should be getting pretty good here. So I'm sorry about all that. We were just talking about gold points, and I guess Nintendo decided to shut me down. That's pretty much what happened once again. They were like, he's going to talk bad about Nintendo, so let's shut down the stream. That's probably what happened. And just as Frenchie Mom gifted 5 subs, thank you so much, Frenchie Mom. I almost... Oh, no, it's Nexus Creed. My bad. Nexus Creed. I'm so sorry. Nexus Creed, thank you so much for gifting the 5 subs. My bad. But thank you so much, so much. Okay, so let's get back into it. We were talking about gold points and Nintendo unfortunately discontinuing it. So basically, let's read through the announcement really quickly. So as of 9:30 p.m. on March 24th of 2025, it will be no longer possible to earn My Gold points when purchasing digital content. Gold points will still be earned after that time in the following scenarios. If you've pre-ordered a digital content before March 24th, basically before the cutoff date, you will still be getting gold points for that purchase. It will also, if you purchased a physical version of a game before March 24th, 2025, because if you didn't know, if you purchased physical games on the Switch, you can get the gold points for that physical game as long as you're in the proper region for the game you purchased and the game came out within 12 months of the date you are trying to claim the gold points. So if you didn't know, it is now time to go through your collection and pick up all the gold points as possible. Now, after this date, you will have 12 months after March 24th to spend the gold points you have. Now, if you don't know what gold points are, is that basically a small percentage, I think it was 4% or 5% of a digital purchase, and it was something like 1% of a physical purchase. Basically, Nintendo gave you as gold points that you could spend towards buying other digital games. It was basically free money. It was like a cashback reward system. And honestly, it was one of the best reward systems, or I would say funnest reward systems on the eShop. Because especially when I would hit that $2 mark, I would often always pick up a $2 game. And, and even when I'm not even looking at this just as a person who does eShop deals, who needs to buy a lot of cheap games and a lot of stuff like that, I think it was just really cool that every time you purchased a game, eventually you'd have enough coins just to purchase something when it was on sale. So it was 100 points for every dollar. 100 feels... It depends if you're buying digital and physical. It wasn't the same percentage. Either way, the percentage isn't super important here. It was just a really fun rewards program. And honestly, it added up over time, especially if you buy a lot of digital content. Like, I would easily be able to buy like 2 or 3 $2 games per month. Okay, so it's like it really adds up over time. And that was something really cool. I think it was also really cool for the developers because basically this is like money that Nintendo's giving back and the developers get paid anyway. Pronti was in today's eShop Deals video. If you didn't see today's eShop Deals video, Pronti was in it, my man. So make sure you guys check out the eShop Deals videos. They're getting less views than usual lately. That's fine. It is what it is. We're getting close to the Switch 2. I know views are going to be down because people are just gearing up for the Switch 2. But at the same time, just letting you guys know, it is there. Oh, you did? Awesome, my man. Yeah, the Switch it's not dead, but there's definitely less interest and less excitement over it. And yes, I brought the sizzle reel back, and the sizzle reel will be back for the near future. Okay? Sometimes in life, you make decisions, and I make decisions. I always try to make the decisions to what I think is the best move for the channel. But you also have to notice when maybe... I'm not going to say it's the bad decision, but if you're not willing to rethink every one of your decisions, you're doing yourself a disservice. In life, every time you make a decision, if you're not willing to, after a little while, look over the decisions you made and reevaluate if those were the right decisions, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. And I think that using the sizzle reel so little was a mistake. Now, will there be a sizzle reel in every video? Maybe not, but the majority will have them again. Like, if I'm aiming, I would say 80% or more of the videos will now have a sizzle reel once again. Overall, we cover more games. Maybe it will cause because my point, the reason why I wasn't using it is I wanted to have as little repetition as possible. However, what happened over time is the same games never got a chance to shine once again. Because when you're choosing like the top 10, 12 games, some games are just never going to make the cut. So that was maybe where the problem happened. And, a lot of games were being pushed to the side because of that. And yes, the sizzle reel music is quite awesome, which comes from Cyber Shadow. But it is sad to see the gold points ending. However, it is normal, okay? I'm going to say there's 2 reasons why Nintendo's probably doing this. Number 1, the Switch 2 is right around the corner. when a new console is launched, that is the time where the company launching that console will be making the least profit on the console itself and the games. And just to let you know, Nintendo is completely against the loss leader strategy. In their history, they've only used the loss leader strategy twice, and both those times it's because the consoles were selling very badly. The Wii U and the Nintendo 3DS. Because I was pretty sure of this, and I did some research over the week to know if they do use loss leader strategies, and they've only used it twice, and it's when their consoles were doing really bad. Wii U, 3DS. I know you're going to say the 3DS was a successful console overall. It was not upon its launch. It got to success later on, but it needed that price drop to get there. And they were selling the consoles at a loss to basically sell their a lost leader. A lost leader means it's a product that gets people into an ecosystem, but the product itself you're selling for less than it costs you to produce it. Sony and Xbox are very well known for having a loss leader strategy where the consoles, when they launch, generally don't make a profit. Okay, they make a profit about a year or two into their life cycle when the parts that are used for those consoles drop in cost. But at launch, they don't make money on the consoles. But Nintendo never does that. They never does that. They never do that for their consoles. They want to make money on their consoles. They don't make a lot of money on their consoles, but they do not want to sell at a loss. For example, the Switch costs about $257 to produce, $267 around for the OLED, and they sell the consoles for $300 and $350 each individually. Exactly. That's how Sony put Sega out. And whatnot. But basically, what's happening now is that Nintendo's about to launch a new console, and most likely right now is going to be the time where the console is going to the profit margin is going to be the smallest. So Nintendo is, as usual, trying to make sure that they don't lose any money on the console. So they're cutting out the gold points because basically the gold points is a bigger profit margin on the software. So it is possible that the Switch 2 might have a very aggressive pricing strategy. So the light at the end of the tunnel here, if we're analyzing this from a marketing, financial perspective, is Nintendo doing this could be an indication that they're going to be very aggressive with the Switch pricing, and possibly their profit margin is going to be extremely small. So they're trying to make sure that they can make up the money everywhere they can. Okay? I think that is one indication that it could be. And number two, it could also be simply that they have a new program that is going to come out with the Switch 2. Because the eShops are most likely going to be shared between the two consoles. So their idea is probably to implement a new program with the Switch 2. Or who knows, the gold points might actually come back. But they might come back in like the year 2 of the Switch 2. When, once again, we get back to what we say. They know that the console is successful or not. If the console is successful, the profit margins are still there. They re-implement the gold point program. I think it's one of those two possibilities. Or, like I said, it could be a different program altogether for the Switch 2. They might have a ace up their sleeves and want to launch a new program. And you know what? We might find out about it on April 2nd. They might actually maybe have it part of the launch announcement. Because oddly enough, this is about a week before we are going to get the definite information about the Switch 2. So, look at it as you will. But I just think that this is very normal when you're launching a new console. I know it sounds weird, but when you're launching a new console, the hype for the new console means that you need to maximize your profits because, like I said, the console is going to be costing the most to produce at that moment. Not to mention that like distribution fees, blah 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 blah. And we're in a situation right now, like I said, where we don't know the pricing on the console yet, and they might just want to be extremely aggressive with the console, where they're maybe selling the console close to production cost. So, although this is sucky and I love the program, I always try to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that could be the light of the end of the tunnel, meaning that the Nintendo Switch might be aggressively priced, and this could be an indicator of that. All possibilities, and like I said, I have a financial background, so I'm looking at this from like a marketing strategy perspective. Okay, we have that down. I mean, it was a pretty straightforward story. Let's go take a look at another interesting story for this week. We're going to be jumping into Power Rangers. Now, I talked about this a little bit on Friday's stream, but if you don't know, and if you haven't picked up Rita's Rewind yet, there's even more reasons to do it now, because they added a ton of features for a lot more replayability on the game. There was some replayability, but it was maybe getting a little dry after 2 or 3 playthroughs. Just because there are a lot of playable characters, but the playable characters all played pretty much the same, except for having like slightly different special moves. They had different visually attack combos, but most of the combos played out in the same way. So there was a little bit of a dryness to replayability in the game. Well, they addressed a lot of those things in the latest feature update to Rita's Rewind, and these changes are so vast. I'm gonna say they surprised me, because it almost feels like a mini rework of the game. So let's go through what they said. So it's been a while. It's been a wild few weeks since we released Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, and we're thrilled to see so many fans having so much fun, especially after the major balance update that went live in December, which, by the way, was amazing, made the gameplay so much smoother. It made the game more approachable for casual fans as well, I would say. We've continued listening to your thoughts, suggestions, and we have 2 pieces of news that we think you'll be happy to hear. So this week, we're adding several new features to the game in a free update that we expect will be available on all platforms by next week. And I tested it out on Friday. It was already available on the Nintendo Switch. Now, different platforms have different processes, so we aren't sure exactly when the update will appear. But here's what you can expect expect when the Power Blast update arrives on your system. So number 1, we have upgradable Rangers. So previously, there were no upgrades available to the characters. Basically, the character you started the game with was exactly the same as the character you ended the game with, meaning that the only factor making the game, I don't want to say easier, but making you progress through the difficulty of the levels, was increasing your skill with the Rangers. So let's read exactly what they did. So many players asked for Rangers to feature different statistics. Some asked for a way to upgrade Rangers' abilities over time. And now it is true. All Rangers have a different stat. Basically, the way it works is that you have 3 categories. You have power or strength, you have speed, and you have defense. And basically, your Rangers are going to be marked out of 1 to 5 lightning bolts, or 1 to 6 lightning bolts. I'm going from memory here because I started it up on Friday, like I said. And when you start out, each Ranger will have 2 lightning bolts. However, for each Ranger, they will be in different areas. Some Rangers have the same lightning bolts, but overall, for example, Kimberly will have a lightning bolt in I think it's defense and speed, while Tommy will have a lightning bolt in strength and speed, and therefore their base stats are no longer the same. Which makes sense, because although all the Rangers have great abilities, let's be honest, they all fought in very different ways. So let's keep reading through and then we'll go through the rest of how it works. Now, our original design aligned with the source material, which shows shows pretty clearly that all Power Rangers are very capable. We didn't want to make this one slower or that one weaker just for the sake of it. So we're implementing a new statistics system designed with personal customization in mind. As you play through the game, you'll unlock stat points that you can use to augment your Rangers in one of 3 skill areas: strength, defense, and speed. Okay, so my memory was pretty good. This gives each character variety while also allowing every fan to make their favorite Ranger play how they want them to play. So in the end, as you go through the game, you'll get extra lightning bolts that you'll be able to apply to one of the 3 categories, and theoretically, you can end with your favorite Ranger playing the way you want them to play. Now, would I have liked to maybe see a little bit more of a differentiation where one Ranger can get max 5 lightning bolts in one category while another Ranger can only get 4, to make sure that, like, in the end, the Rangers don't end at the exact same stats? Maybe. I would have maybe liked to see that. But in the end, I do like the fact that at least they have different starting stats now, and the upgradability will also make the game feel like there's a better progression to the game. Because I do think some people were having trouble where the later levels in the game, their skills were maybe not increasing as fast as they needed to progress in the game. I was actually surprised to see a lot of people weren't able to finish it. Like, if you looked at the comments in the videos and stuff that covered this, a lot of people were saying they were having trouble completing the game. Secondly, however, that's not all they did. They also added in morphers. Now, morphers can be activated before you start a new game to mix and match different special things about the game. However, you have to have finished the game completely once for this to be unlocked. If you already have a save file with the game finished, I can confirm because I tried it. I finished the game when it originally came out. And I kept my original save slot. I did not refinish it after the update, and I still had right-away access to the morpher. Now, the morpher is basically, it allows you to personalize the gameplay for future playthroughs. Things like the Rangers die in one hit, or the enemies die in one hit, or the gravity acts like you're on the moon, so your characters will sort of like jump super, like you're basically on the moon. There's no better way to explain it than that. You have a go-go party. You basically, there's also one with no time disruptors. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Oh, there's infinite lives. And anyway, there's a bunch of like really cool things to make future playthroughs way, way different. And that's where I said it adds in a ton of replayability. And especially if you have kids that are not that good at beat 'em ups, you can now play through. Once you've made it through the game once, you can play through it. My kids were having trouble with the game. Like, I played it with my brother, and my brother had trouble halfway through the game keeping up. However, exactly, morphers equals modifiers. It's basically modifiers, but they're calling it morphers to fit in with the whole Power Rangers lingo. So let's just read what they said about this. So our arcade-style experience was designed to be short but replayable. To make those replays more fun, we're adding in morphers which modify gameplay elements like gravity, damage, and more. And if you enjoyed the fact that all the Rangers were equally capable, one morpher even restores that too. Okay, so awesome. That's it. That's the one I was missing. There's one that actually puts all the statistics to Rangers back to the same. Mixing and matching these options will offer a lot of variety and can make the game dramatically easier or seriously challenging. However you mix it up, the goal is to add even more fun to your session. They're intended to make replays more fun, not remove all the challenge from the first playthrough, so you'll need to beat the game once to unlock morphers. Now, I know a lot of people were complaining that you had to beat the game once, but it just makes sense. Most games that have these kind of options, you need to beat the game once to have them unlocked. Get good, okay? That's all I gotta say, get good. And lastly, they even added in a power blast. So when Rita's minions threaten to overwhelm you, this new attack can knock them back in exchange for a bit of your character's health bar. No reward without risk. but this heroic tactic might turn the tide in a difficult fight. Just tap the attack and special at the same time. Give it a try. Each ranger displays a different visual effect when they perform this move. And this is another really great addition because it was missing from the fighting system, where basically the gameplay currently was a little bit repetitive in the fighting system, where basically you were fighting to charge your special move, use your special move, fight to charge your special move, use your special move. There was not a lot of risk and reward to the gameplay. Adding in the Power Blast is a great option when you're having trouble with an enemy, you need a little more help, but you want to take a little more risk. You have a great option to help that. So honestly, and lastly, you have ground recovery, remappable controls. We're not going to read through all of that because those are pretty easy things. Basically, ground recovery is that when you get knocked down, if you time your button well, you basically immediately get back up, increasing your recovery time, which can help you, especially through a couple of the really annoying boss fights. Overall, they're making the game better and better each time, just like Shredder's Revenge, and I love to see this. The company cares about their game, cares about their product, wants to put out something good, and all this means is that, you know what, I hope we get a Power Rangers follow-up. They could even go into a different Power Rangers series. They want to go into, I don't know, Turbo, into Power Rangers in space, a bunch of them, like, or we could just see season 2 of the original Power Rangers, and they could go into the wider Power Rangers. I'd even love to see a remake of the Power Rangers movie game, which was probably one of the best games on the SNES back in the day. But it's great. It's marketed towards families, but I gotta tell you, the first time when the game originally came out, I said it when I played through it. It was a pretty rough playthrough. It was a pretty rough playthrough, considering that I'm a person who plays a lot of beat 'em ups. The fact that it was challenging me, and I'm not trying to sound like full of myself. It's just like I play a lot of beat 'em ups. It's very rare that a beat 'em up challenges me. I said it was a sign of trouble, because I said a lot of people picking up this game are casual fans and they're not going to have the patience to make it through the Zord levels. I said it originally. And I think I was right. And this is the proof. You know, the proof when even the developer admits you're right, that's because you were right. Okay. So, awesome news for Power Rangers. Really happy to see it. And oh, that is not supposed to be happening. No, that is later. Almost ruined that. Okay, next on the docket, I have a PSA warning. And this is courtesy of Nintendo Life. Once again, if you haven't checked out Nintendo Life, they do some great stories, whatnot. I mention it all the time because, you know, when I use someone's story, I do like to give them the cred behind it. So this is where I read about it. And was it porn in the background? Yeah, it was right on, you know, you caught me once, Kilos, man. You caught me. No, it's the trailer we're going to be watching in just a few seconds. So this is a PSA. If you are a collector of limited run games, there are 2 NES titles that were released recently that can damage your console. And I'll be honest with you, NESs can get pretty expensive in some areas. So pay attention, be careful. Let's read through it and basically see what happened. So Limited Run Games has issued emails to its customers confirming that both Rugrats Adventure in Gameland and Pio Pow, sorry about that, on NES may cause damage to the consoles or cartridges if used for prolonged periods of time. Dude, a NES game can actually damage your console. So Limited Run Games has stated that these specific games were not manufactured by its regular partner, and were instead handled by another team that has only worked on a very small handful of titles. Okay? Limited Run is now checking through all games produced by this particular team and has removed both Rugrats and Pio Pow from sale. As those who have already purchased either title, you can either opt for a replacement from Limited Run's usual manufacturing partner or apply for a full refund. Those wishing to receive a replacement will not need to contact Limited Run. This will be handled automatically. Naturally, it's recommended that if you do own these products on the NES, you shouldn't continue to use them. But Limited Run has stated that a return will not be necessary in this case. So you get to keep both copies. You get to keep the copy that kills the NES. So if you have a friend that you really hate, give him your copy. He's going to think it's the best gift in the world, and you can destroy his NES. So in speaking with Time Extension, a guy who's pretty knowledgeable said that although the cartridges have high voltage regulators, it has no logic level translation. This means that the parts on the board constantly draw power from signals that are not intended to provide power and will damage the cart and his NES. This cartridge is a tiny time bomb for your electronics. So, yeah. That's pretty sad, especially that Limited Run games. I mean, they've been in the game for a while. I don't know, but going with a team that is unvetted like this, pretty risky. And I mean, every team gets a chance, but damn. If they broke my NES, I'd be super pissed. I wouldn't only want them to replace the cartridge. I'd be like, dude, you're gonna have to pay like an extra damage to the system. But and I wonder if there are people out there that their NES has stopped working. They have these games, they don't know why, and these games could be the freaking reason. It's pretty crazy. Like, it's pretty crazy that a cartridge could break your game. You know, we had like that rumor back in the day that the Cooking Mama game was like running crypto through the Nintendo Switch and making it overheat. Yeah, I don't like bad mouthing companies, but Limited Run has had a couple of quality issues lately that have disappointed me a lot. Like, they've had a lot of problems with games coming out, because when they came out originally, Limited Run games, their big thing is that all the updates on the game, all the patch bugs would be on the cartridges. They've had multiple times now that games have come out and have had patches or bug fixes after the cartridges came out. And the bug fixes are not on the cartridges. Not only that, but they've also had issues where basically some CDs were what was it for the 3DO were basically burned CDs, which basically over time can degrade very fast. It's actually pretty freaking crazy that they've had so many things, because I'm pretty sure if I would search through, there's been over the last year at least 4 to 5 quality production issues with Limited Run games over the last year. And to me, that's a lot. That's a lot. Congratulations, Rick. You guys won. Matthews thought guarding McDavid was optional during the 3v3. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Honestly, I was really happy that we won. It was a great game. You know, I'll be honest, the 2 games of Canada-US were some of the best hockey I've seen over the last 10 years. Just quick side note to address Champ, since he just got here. It was some of the best hockey I've seen. Did you see how few game stoppages there were during that game? It is pretty insane. It was fast-paced. It was beautiful hockey. It was awesome to see. Both teams played amazing. And the important thing in the end is Canada won, though. And we won the one game that counted. You know, the game we lost was a game that didn't count. and we won the game that counted. But I'm just messing at the same time. I'm glad that both teams did well. I'm glad it wasn't a blowout either way. Um, it was a great game both ways. Yes, and the refs let them play. Like, I don't think either team was being overly dirty in anything, but they were letting the players play. Like, they knew they had like probably 40 of the best, like 46 of the best NHL players in the world, and as long as the guys were being respectful to each other, they let them play. Yeah, exactly. But I don't think anyone was being like overly dirty. Like, there wasn't a lot of hooking, there wasn't a lot of interference. Like, there was a lot of checking, but I the checking, like, a couple of them I was like, "Ooh, guys, man, try not to kill each other." But yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the game stories, however, at hand. Um, so overall, like I said, I'm just really disappointed with limited run, and I hope they really lock things in, because more and more other companies are showing up, and other companies are starting to deliver better products with faster turnaround times. Like, I want to see with Cyber Shadow, if I can really order the game in February and get it in May with the deluxe edition, I'm going to be very impressed. 3 months is a very good turnaround time. It's a respectable turnaround time for a limited product. For the moment, limited run games, every time I've ordered from them, it's been 9 months to a year to get the product. And that's way too long. Way too long. 3 months makes sense. By the time the pre-orders close, by the time the production cycle closes, blah, 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 makes sense. Let's start our own company, dude. I wish, honestly, I wish. I've been thinking about a while now of like trying to start something gaming centered, so that like, but the thing is, I want to focus on YouTube. So even though I have like crazy ideas to do that kind of stuff, I always come back to the idea, but I really want to do YouTube. Like, and all that stuff would take time away from what I really want to do. Yeah, super rare. And I'm gonna be honest too. One of the biggest problems with limited run too is they're publishing games that are very low quality lately. Like, I used to remember when pretty much every game limited run games put out was at least a 7 out of 10 or higher. But I would say over the last couple of years, they've put out games that are 5 out of 10s and lower, where these games shouldn't be getting physical editions. But anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I think like, but I'm glad because, like I said, with other companies coming on the market, and I'm glad that Cyber Shadow went with a different company. You know what I mean? They could have gone the easy route, because I'm pretty sure Limited Run would have wanted to do Cyber Shadow. I'm pretty sure they were foaming at the mouth to do it, but I'm glad they sort of didn't go with them. Why are the videos playing automatically? Oh my god. Oh my god. Whew. Okay. But now, with that out of the way, seriously, I'm getting annoyed. I don't know why the trailers are playing automatically. I'm like, and it's not even the one I'm actually clicking on. It's super annoying. Okay. So now we're gonna do a couple of quick updates. So first of all, Yooka-Laylee got another trailer. I want to check it out. Game I'm super excited about. It is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. It will most likely not be on the Nintendo Switch 1, but I think it's time. It is a game I'm really looking forward to replaying, because Yooka-Laylee, this is, by the way, if you don't know, it's the remake of Yooka-Laylee, which is a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie in a way. It is based off of the Banjo-Kazooie gameplay. Love the game. However, I do think it did have a few of growing pains in the development of that first game. So I'm really happy to see it's getting a remake that is supposed to be pretty much smoothing all that stuff out with better graphics. So let's take a look at the latest trailer and see what they have in store for us. Audio's good? Yeah, audio's good. Graphics look so much better. So this is like a little sidekick gameplay. Honestly, if the visuals are this good on the Nintendo Switch 2 as well, I'm going to be seriously impressed. Rextro bites back. This game, honestly, I think is going to be a fantastic 3D platformer. I think it's basically going to feel like what Yooka-Laylee should have been in the first place. And look, Yooka-Laylee is good. Yooka-Laylee was good. I would have put it like at a 7.5-ish, maybe 8 out of 10. But like 8 if you really have a soft spot for like those 3D platformers. And I think Yooka-Laylee, if they play their cards right and if they smooth out the right stuff, could end up being a 9 out of 10 game. I really do think it can end up being there. Like Yooka-Laylee, oh my god, the second one is Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Yooka-Laylee and the Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair was a 9 out of 10 game. Like, it was a great 2D platformer. It's a different gameplay style, but Impossible Lair was an amazing game. Hey, happy B-Day, Grovel. It's your B-Day? Happy B-Day, my friend. So that was one of the first little updates. Number 2, we have a demo to play, guys. We have a new demo that came out that we are going to have to play. It is called Rusty Rabbit. It is a Metroidvania coming to Nintendo Switch, and it is developed by NetEase, the guys who did Marvel Rivals. So it's a Chinese company, but it looks really good. So let's watch the trailer for Rusty Rabbit, and there should be a playable demo on the eShop right now. You discovered Elderand, Jose? I'm glad you discovered that from the deals video. A middle-aged rabbit living in a particular world. I love this. It reminds me of Planet Robobot with Kirby, but in a more like gritty style. You get to personalize the mech. Hey, Addy, welcome. Frenchy Bomb. I think I said hi to you, but if I forgot, I'm sorry. It also reminds me of Fist. I'm not gonna lie. The visuals also remind me a lot of Fist.
Leave it to me.
I think the audio's a bit loud. It really does. And there's supposed to be a playable demo. So I think we're gonna play it this week.
Cute little bunny, not a chance.
Looking very forward to it, and it's actually coming out in April, so we won't have to wait too long for it. But very interesting, playable demo. Definitely going to check it out this week. And I have a couple of surprise announcements for this week. I'm keeping it for the right time, though, in today's announcements. So that is number one. And our last little announcement that I want to cover before we take a look at our final big news story and we jump then into the new games for this week is we have Samurai Pizza Cats Blast from the Past, my God. Blast from the Past reveal trailer. Do you guys remember Samurai Pizza Cats? Because I remember Samurai Pizza Cats firing out of the cannon. Oh man, like this was the craze right after Ninja Turtles, where everyone was trying to make an anthropomorphic. My God, words are so hard tonight. An anthropomorphic cartoon about some kind of cat like some kind of animal mixed with some kind of Japanese or some kind of warrior thing, like biker mice from Mars, Battletoads, Samurai Pizza Cats. Basically, everyone was trying to cash in on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles craze, and this was an anime that made it to the West. I actually watched this show. I totally forgot about it till I saw this announcement trailer. And then I was, damn, this show was actually pretty freaking cool. So let's take a look at it. And honestly, once again, awesome announcement. And I really am looking forward to this game.
Just reach the big cheese.
A video game, 30 years later, and these old-fashioned furballs are getting a new video game. These darn pizza cats are always stealing my spotlight. I haven't built this thing.
Oh man, the whiny fox guy.
Calm down, Seymour. If the Pizza Cats are getting a new game, that means we will be cast as the main villains, right? Our voice actors are even recording the scene that we're doing right now.
But I'm supposed to be the lead. I'm probably not even going to be a playable character.
Calm down, Cheese. I have a plan. We could bribe the animators to draw a super powerful robot for us. And then
it's awesome if they got the original voice actors on top of it. I don't know if it's the original ones because they're sort of pointing to that.
And with those annoying pizza cats out of the way, I'll become the new emperor of Little Tokyo once and for all.
Oh no! Isn't there anyone who can stop this cast-off supervillain?
So, the big cheese is up to his old tricks again, huh?
Well, we've got 9 lives, plus continues.
And when the game gets tough, you know who to call.
We are the Samurai Pizza Cats!
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Samurai Pizza Cats.
Honestly, the animation looks amazing, and this is supposed to be gameplay here.
And it's up to you, the player, to stop
it looks really nice.
Little Tokyo. Switch between your favorite cats, Speedy, Guido, and Polyester, and get ready for some nostalgic pepperoni action. So put on your best pajamas, because we're going to party like it's 1991.
And there's supposed to be RPG gameplay as well, so it's like it looks like an action RPG. So honestly, the game looks great. And it's supposed to be coming for all major platforms, so I'm assuming the Nintendo Switch is somewhere in there, but is it going to be Switch 1 or 2? I'm not 100% sure, because at least from the trailer, it doesn't say. And I could have looked into it, but I sort of feel like it's going to be one of those things that I'm just going to go with the flow and wait till it officially like sort of comes out in a trailer or something. And at the same time, we're most likely going to have the Nintendo Switch 2 by the time this thing comes out. So, you know what? I'm just going to play it on the Switch 2. But obviously, I'll keep you guys informed if it comes out on the 1 as well. But it looks freaking amazing. And if you remember the show, it was hilarious. The animation was pretty solid. And honestly, I'm really glad to see the show coming back. It was one of those like 90s things that like very few people remembered, or like at least when we were remembering the great shows from back then, I didn't remember Pizza Cats, but now that I saw it again, I like so many memories are flooding back that looking forward to the game. Looking very forward to it. Now, our last bit of news. is the Pokemon Presents. Yes, this Thursday, which I don't think it's going to surprise very many people since it's the official Pokemon Day, we are going to be getting a Pokemon Presents. Now, it's going to be pretty freaking early. 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. For me, 9 a.m. And this is my special announcement. Yes, I will be streaming it. I will be there on Thursday morning. I will be there on Thursday all day. So I haven't come to an exact conclusion about what the schedule is going to be like, but we are most likely going to be streaming on Thursday, not only for the Pokemon Presents, but most likely afterwards as well. Now, I have a couple of ideas for Thursday, but I'm going to keep them close to the vest. I'll talk about them before the Pokemon Presents. So around 8:30ish in the morning, I will most likely be starting streaming for the Pokemon Presents. 8:30 Eastern time, so like 5:30 Pacific time. I know that is early as heck for those on the West Coast, but I will be there. We will be streaming the Pokemon Presents. Now, my top 3 asks for this Pokemon Presents. Number 1, I would love to get some Pokemon ZA, some Pokemon Legends ZA actual gameplay. Like, we've seen the trailer, we've seen the spoiler trailer, the teaser trailer, but we have no idea what the gameplay looks like or the like actual in-engine gameplay. So my number 1 ask for this Pokemon Day is I would like to see a bit of footage of the gameplay of Pokemon Legends ZA. Okay? That is number 1. Number 2, my second ask for this Pokemon Presents. And who knows, maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't. I want Gen 1 Pokemon games on Nintendo Switch Online. It's about time, guys. Look, they're not going to drop all of them, but if they drop Gen 1 Pokemon games on Nintendo Switch Online, it's about time, guys. Come on. Come on. Give us red, blue, and green, and yellow. Okay? Give us the Japanese version too, for those who would want to try it. And give us Pokemon Yellow. I still have my original cart of red. I can play red whenever I want. But there are people out there who have never played this gem of a awesome Pokemon game. And since Nintendo doesn't like emulators, just give it to us on Nintendo Switch Online. Who knows? You know what? If you guys want to drop it into the expansion pack, do it. Make the Pokemon gaming section part of the expansion pack and give us the first 3 games. You're going to get a ton of people to drop into the expansion pack. But if you want to be really nice, just drop it into the normal Nintendo Switch Online. The problem with that, guys, and the reason why I'm saying that I wouldn't care that it would go into the expansion pack, is that when we get to the Game Boy Advance games, it's going to be in the expansion pack anyway. You know what I mean? Like, if they start dropping the Pokemon games and they keep their, like, the current division of it, like, basically after, like, what, Gen... red, blue, then we had gold, silver, then we had, after gold, silver, was it already ruby, sapphire? Was ruby, sapphire after gold, silver? Or am I missing one gen in there? Yeah, Gen 3 is GBA. That's it. It's Ruby Sapphire. It's right away Ruby Sapphire. So, like, if you look at it this way, if they do a Pokemon section and they just drop them all into, like, the Pokemon expansion, you know, like, Pokemon is part of the expansion pack, dude, the only difference is like the six first generation games to what they currently divide up. So I would say Gen 1 Pokemon games is my ask number 2. And my final ask for this Pokemon Day, my final ask that I would like to see for this Pokemon Day is an announcement for a remake of Black and White. We're pretty much there. We did Pearls. Like, if you look at Nintendo, they've been going through the generations. We got Pearl and Diamond last time. So we're at Black and White. Yeah, Silver and Gold is considered Gen 2, and that was on the Game Boy / Game Boy Color. Like there were they because Crystal was Game Boy Color. Were they all Game Boy Color? Crystal for sure was Game Boy Color, which was the third game in Gen 2. And I feel like Gold and Silver was regular Game Boy. Yeah, it was regular Game Boy. I played them in Black and White. I'm sure I played them in Black and White. But basically, my third ask, like I said, would be news on the Black and White remakes. Because it's guaranteed they're coming, guys. It's guaranteed they're coming. And I'd really like to get some news on the Black and White remakes. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be coming... I would feel this year. We're going to get Black and White. So I do think it might be one of the bigger announcements from the Pokemon Presents. Because obviously Pokemon ZA, I don't think we're going to get a release date, to be honest. But I think we're going to get a first peek at maybe some gameplay. And I really want to see some gameplay. Because I want to know what kind of Pokemon game we're dealing with. Are we talking about a generational leap that it's going to revolutionize things? Or are we just talking about basically a slightly more polished version of the previous Legends games that happens in a city instead of like an old town? So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is there anything I'm missing for Pokemon Presents Day? Is there anything you guys would be aching for? Like realistically. Because obviously it's not going to be a shadow drop of ZA, okay? And it's not going to be a shadow drop of Black and White. They're just not going to do that. If we get a shadow drop, it's going to be the NSO stuff. Like we're going to get a shadow drop of NSO, or we might get a shadow drop of some other like Pokemon offshoot. But we're started getting pretty short on the Pokemon offshoots. Like I can only think of like Pokemon Troze or something, the puzzle game there that was on DS or Game Boy Advanced. Well, I think theoretically, the new game's a Legends game. Like, I don't know. I don't know because they put the Legends in it. Because the other one was Legends Arceus. And this one is Legends ZA. So I'm not sure this is theoretically a direct Pokemon game. Oh, you like it? It's my Sonic 2 t-shirt. That should be mainline. I can't remember how they presented it. I would have to rewatch the trailer of how they presented it. But it has the Legends in the title, which is why I'm thinking it's going to be more of a Legends game. Or you know what it might be? It might be a blend finally of both. Ever, my favorite Pokemon game ever. I think it's Emerald. Personally, I'm trying to think, and I think it's Emerald. Yeah, I would go with Emerald. Like, if you want to make the argument Omega Ruby, Omega Sapphire, I could. I would go there. You know what I mean? Like, the remakes of that gen, But I feel that gen was my favorite. Dude. Ugh. Still have my emerald. Still have an emerald cart, and this is not a copy. It's a real one. It's a real emerald cart. Yeah, my emerald was pretty freaking fantastic. Emerald was pretty freaking fantastic. Not gonna lie. Like basically the carts I have left. This is my original red cart that I had. This is actually a viewer that sent it to me. I bought it from him. I bought it from a viewer, but at a really, really, really good price because I didn't have it anymore. And then I have the Japanese versions of Gen 2. And I think I have all the DS ones. So I have pretty much a lot of the retro ones. I don't have Heart Gold and Soul Silver though. I have Wait. No, what do I not have? No, it's I have Sun and Moon, but I don't have the remakes of Sun and Moon. Uh they what was it? It's not Omega Sun and Omega Moon. They called it something. There were I have Sun and Moon, but then I don't have the remakes that are way better. And it annoyed me that I would have had to rebuy the two games again. So I never bought the other two. Because I used to buy both versions of the Pokemon games. But yeah. Okay. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. You're going to go grab a beer, Nexus Creed. I'm going to go grab a quick bathroom break. Like it's going to take like just 2-3 minutes max. And we're going to chat a few minutes and start getting ready for the new games to get those because we have 12 to go over and there's some pretty interesting ones. So I'll be right back. I unfortunately don't have any beer left, so I'm going to grab myself something to drink, but it's not going to be beer, unfortunately. So be right back. Okay, yes, Mike. My bad. Yeah, I saw it. Don't worry, I saw it. But thank you so much for the $5, Nexus Creed. Very, very appreciated. And definitely would I have had a little more time when I finished work, I would have picked up some beer before getting home. But at the same time, I have to really get back into my workout schedule because since I've been sick the last couple of weeks, I haven't been sick. 2 weeks ago, I was just super busy. So I like I went to the gym like once that week. And last week I got so sick that I didn't go at all. Frenchy Mom with the 5 gifted. Thank you so much. Guys, super appreciated. Super, super appreciated. Okay. So, like I said, I'm hoping that they go out with, like, I hope, because don't forget, this is going to probably be the last announcement of Switch 1 related stuff before officially we're, like, in Switch 2 season. I hope they go out with a bang. Like, I hope it's not a dud. Obviously, there's going to be a Pokemon Go update. Obviously, there's going to be a Pokemon, the card game on the phone. I always have a blank. Pokemon TCG Pocket. And look, I play Pokemon TCG Pocket. I have no problem with that game. It's a fun, like, little game when you're at work and you don't know what to do and you have a few minutes to kill. It's a fun little game, okay? So I'm not bad-mouthing those games, but I just hope it's not a direct that has I hope it's not like a 40-minute direct with 30 minutes of Go and Pokemon TCG Pocket, and then like 10 minutes of like, hey guys, look, we have a slightly new trailer for Pokemon ZA without any gameplay again. But yeah. But does not exist on YouTube. Squirrel is like an entity. Squirrel is here to peeve me off, man. The first thing she did in chat was once again mention the 51st state. Like, she is royally looking for trouble. I completely ignored it because honestly, I'm politicized out. I'm off of that shit right now. I don't want to get into that conversation right now. By the way, hold on. Notifications are not on when I'm in this mode. So sorry about that, guys. I'm going to repeat the notifications because when I'm on the big cam, I don't have the overlay. Honestly, I should just port it over. Yeah, or you know what could happen is that the U.S. could become the 12th province. I think that the 11th province, or even better yet, they could become our third territory, because you have to earn the province status, so they could become our third territory. No, we're joking around. Like, it's for real right now. It's all shits and giggles. Okay, no political crap. We're not getting into it at all. I'm just like, I'm at joke status with that stuff now because I don't give a crap. 10 provinces and basically 2 territories. Basically, I can name them all because it's super easy. British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia. That's our 10 provinces. Then we have Yukon and Northwest Territories for the territories. Basically, territories they're like a province, but they have slightly less legal autonomy than a province has. So they don't have the same level of legal autonomy that a province has, and they don't have the same representation in the national elections. And it makes sense because those 2 territories have such small populations that it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense that they would have like the weight behind them. Like, I'd have to look at the population of Yukon. Let's just quickly. See, like the whole territory. Like imagine a whole state. Okay, like territory, like let's equivalent that to about a state, like size wise, has only 46,000 people. 46,000 people in the total state. The city I live in here has 60,000 people. So there's less people in the whole territory than there are in like in the town I live in the city I live in. Population of the Northwest Territories. And the Northwest Territories is triple the size of the Yukon. Okay, it is, I think, landmass wise, it is actually the biggest part of Canada, and there's only 44,000 people in it. But it's because it's at the high north, like it's the north of the country. Map of Canada. Like this is Canada, okay? So for people that don't know, Canada is north of the US, okay? Like when the United States ends, Canada starts. Okay, I'm just fucking with you guys, okay? Oh my God, it's like... No, but it's not politics. Where I'm just like, basically, I just find it's like interesting stuff. Basically, like this isn't about terror. This isn't about politics whatsoever. So basically, you see Canada, like if you look, these are the provinces: British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, and Labrador, Newfoundland, New Brunswick down here, Nova Scotia is here, and PI is here. PI is Prince Edward Island. Okay, but basically this huge section of land here, which is Northwest Territories and Nunavut, which were combined years ago. They're still separate, but they're sort of combined. All of this is one territory, and all of this has only 42,000 people in it. If you look, it's the size of like 4 provinces down here. It's insane. But it's so freaking cold that no one wants to live there. Like, if you think it's cold wherever you live, up there, it's like summer is like 5 degrees Celsius. Like summer's like 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that's summer. That's like July. Okay, July is like 40 Fahrenheit. It's like insanely cold. Okay, so that's why no one's there. It's like basically living in Alaska. It's Alaska, exactly. I was gonna say like Alaska's here. Like it's the same height as Alaska. Okay, so it's like, who cares about this stuff? But yeah, so that's basically, you know, that's basically it. So, and yeah, that's it. So, and for people who don't know, physically Canada, because of the territories, is bigger than the US. Like, because we have the Northwest Territories up here, landmass wise, we have double the size of the US almost. But that's why, like, we have a lot of natural resources, so that's why there's like a lot of exploitation up here. Like that, like we exploit natural resources on a super high level. Because there's a lot of landmass. But like 60% of our country, no one wants to live there. That's the problem. So we're super big, but most people, like, basically, I'd have to look at the exact stats, because like I don't know them by heart. But just to be clear, I live here. Okay. Like if I make a circle, can I mark this map? Measure a distance. We can do this. Like, I think it's something like 80% or like between 60 to 80% of the country lives here. Okay. Like there's people all over, but the population density elsewhere is super, super tiny. And like like close to 60%, I think, of the population lives. I maybe made this a little too small there, like this. Like 60% of the population lives here. So it's like we're everyone's like dense in the same area. And basically, you know, like the medium size would be like here-ish. I would say about like this. You've got like, I think you've got like 80% of everyone in Canada in this area. Like no one wants to live here. No one wants to live here. In the Maritimes, I need to just take the Maritimes because people live in the Maritimes. Yeah, well, okay, yeah, like, okay, I'd have to like you. I get what you're saying, like this, okay. Michigan's not in it anymore. Or wait, no, Michigan's down here. You get what I mean. Like whatever is within Canada, within this circle is that. Okay, geography lesson is over. Geography is over. Yeah, Maine is super close. Maine is like right stuck to Canada. Like it's right stuck. Like theoretically, for me to go to New York State or Vermont State, it's like a 1.5 hour drive. It's not very far. Like the longest part of me getting to the US is actually crossing the border sometimes when there's like a long lineup. But like if it's a straight drive and an hour and a half and I'm in Vermont or New York State, because we're like stuck to them. But yeah. You would rather freeze than sweat. And actually, when I used to live when I used to live at my parents' place, they're even closer. They're like 45 minutes away from the border, like a good 45 minutes to an hour. Like they're like 45 minutes, half hour closer. Topaz is back. Oh, guys, whoo! It's gonna be a big week. So I'm still deciding what I want to do. I'm gonna give you guys some hints of what I'm thinking for Thursday for the stream. You know how I said of doing a Gen 1 Pokemon playthrough? I was thinking that for Pokemon Day, we could actually maybe try to play through a good part of the game. And if I start streaming it early enough, I don't think we can do a full playthrough of the game, but I think we could get pretty decently far. That would be plan A. That would be really Pokemon themed for the day. But I don't think it's gonna relate to that many people. Like I do think some people are going to get bored because there are boring parts to watching someone play Pokemon games. You know what I mean? Like they're fun, but they're also boring, especially Gen 1's animations from the Game Boy and all that. It might be a little rough, okay? Which is what I thought after. Like if you have a really retro-focused public, it's cool. But if you don't, it's like a little bit, you know, like a little weird. Or number two is that we could just do a variety gaming day where I tried a demo of that rabbit game. And I probably try one or two of the games coming out this week. Because on Thursday, they should all be out. So, or something like that. Or I just like choose a game like, or we could finally play Wukong, or we could finally play RoboCop. Like I have so many options. I have too many options. Or number three, I mean, I finally unboxed a pile of 25 games about that I have over there, and I could unbox them live on stream. That's like option number 3. Play Monster Hunter Wilds with you. I can't. I'd need to get a second PC. It's because I need to get a second PC, a champ. That's why I can't play it. Because I can't stream and play from the same PC right now. Like, my graphics card isn't good enough for that. I'd need to set up a second PC to run my stream. I know. It's honestly, it's not that I can't do it. It's that I don't want to waste time doing it for Friday. And by waste time, it's like a figure of speech. It's that, like, I'd still have to install OBS. I'd have to install the stuff. I'd have to connect one of my monitors to that other computer. It's not super long, but it's like 2 hours of setup. And if I do it, I would want to do it on in a permanent setup, if that makes any sense. Oh, it's on PS5. Is it going to be, is it coming out, or is it still beta on Friday? February 28th, it's the official release on the 28th. That could be doable. It's out. If it runs on a Steam Deck, it's not going to be a pleasant experience, especially if I try to stream it and I have it scaled to full screen. Like, it might look okay on the Steam Deck in handheld, but I doubt it would look okay on a 1080p monitor. Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. It's beating up some pretty good graphics cards. By pretty good, I mean like pretty good mid-range. Like, if you have like a 1 or 2 generation old mid-range graphics cards, people are having trouble with it. Let me think it over, and if you stop by on Thursday, I'll tell you if I can or can't. Like, because it would have to be the it would have to be the Friday night stream, meaning that we aren't going to stream Switch stuff. We're going to stream Wilds. Like, if that's what we do, that's what it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be where we're going to stream Wilds Friday evening. Okay? So I'll stop on let me think it over. I want to make sure, like, I don't get like a code for something that I really, really want to play or something. And Switch-wise, I really want to play Wilds, okay? But I was planning on not buying Wilds till it came out on the Switch 2. Okay? I was planning on not buying it till it came out on the Switch 2, which I think will happen, but I'm not sure. But I'll think it over. Definitely. Okay. I think we're pretty much done with the stories now. So we're going to be getting to the new Nintendo Switch games for this week. Now, like I said, we have 12 games. Now, do not try to mess up my intro and my outros again, okay? I'm warning all of yous. I have to do my fake intro, my fake outro for tomorrow's video. Oh, by the way, for anyone who missed the start of the stream, I'm going to repeat it. The replays of, starting today, the replays of the Warp Zone are no longer going to be on the main channel. We're always going to stream from the main channel, but the replay is going to be on the side channel. So if you're not subbed to the side channel yet, which is Maple Syrup Gaming Extra, make sure you're subbed if you do want to watch the replays of the streams. But basically, so after we end the stream tonight, the video is going to go unlisted on the channel. And tomorrow morning, it's going to shift over to the side channel. Okay? So, why? Because, and you know, I explained it in the past. I'm not going to go over too much because if you watch the beginning of the stream as well, you're going to hear it as well. But basically, it's to help the analytics on the main channel. And at the same, it's because not a lot of people watch the the replay, and it sends the message to YouTube that like, oh, he put out, because it counts as a video once it's out, and it gives the message to YouTube, oh, only like 200 people watched this video after he put it out, which basically lowers my average view count and a bunch of analytical stuff. However, I want everyone to always have access to the replays that they don't, if you don't have time to watch it live. However, they will now be on the side channel. I will say that the beginning of the next 2 to 3 warp zones, then I'll stop saying it. Or I might just say it very quickly, like, don't forget, if you want to catch the warp zone in replay, it'll be on the side channel Maple Syrup Gaming Extra, blah, blah, blah. Like a super quick thing. But the next 2 or 3 warp zones, I'm going to repeat it at the start and the end, just so that people that do maybe aren't here every week, but do come in, have time to get it. Oh my God, you guys. Let me clear my nose first. And yeah, and Topaz is here too to annoy me. At least I have Mountain Dew. Okay. So it is intro time. Hey everyone, and welcome back. So now it's time to look at the new Nintendo Switch games for this week. Look, you see now it's Topaz. I knew she was going to do it too. Death number 1 already. Oh my God, Frenchie Mom. I knew it. I knew it. It's all good if I get free subs out of it. I'm gonna. So how many times? Champ Dancer. Renewing his membership for a month. Okay. Topaz with the assist, definitely. She was like, Frenchie Mom, I got you back. Okay. So hey everyone, and welcome back. So now it's time to take a look at the new Nintendo Switch games for this week. And we have 12 games lined up for this week. And once again, it's going to be a special week, because I would say 3 of those games are so crazy, I just had to include them in the list. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ah! The notifications. Someone just sobbed. Ah! Oh my God, you guys. Driving me nuts here. I could theoretically edit that out. But I'm gonna try to do another one. We're gonna do one more. Yeah, it was honestly, it was a total brain freeze when the thing popped in my ear. When the notification popped in my ear, it was a total brain freeze. Because I think there's a delay. Like, I hear it like about a second or 2 before you guys hear it. Because I like heard it, and then, but I'm like, what the heck? There's not even one on the screen. And I looked, and it was on the screen like 2-3 seconds later. Okay. So everyone, and welcome back. Oh my God. So everyone, and welcome back. So now it's time to look at the new Nintendo Switch games for this week. And I have a lineup of 12 games to look at that will be in chronological. My freaking hell, man. You guys are Again, I don't get this. I've done this for like 8 weeks in a row without needing retakes. And like these last 2 weeks, I just can't do it. I just can't get it. I'm going to have to edit all the little bits together to make something that makes sense soon. Okay. No. We're good. We're good. Deep breath. Hey everyone, and welcome back. So now it's time to look at the new Nintendo Switch games for this week. And I have a lineup of 12 great games to look at, with 3 that are so crazy I just had to include them in the list. Now, let's jump into the games, and don't forget, if you are liking the video, hit that like button. See, simple, straightforward, we don't need any more than that. I'm going to cut out all the garbage. Okay. Why are they auto-playing? That is so freaking annoying. As soon as I grab the trailer, they're auto-playing. That is really annoying. Okay. So our first game for today is going to be Ninja 5-0. Now, if you don't know, this is actually one of the most expensive Game Boy Advance games if you would actually try to pick up an original copy. I mean, a loose copy easily goes for around $300. So the fact that we're finally getting a re-release for the Switch is some huge news for a lot of people. I mean, you could have emulated the game, but if you wanted to play it in an official capacity, this is now going to be one of the most accessible ways. Now, by the way, the game is coming out on February 25th. So there's a good chance that by the time you're watching this video, it'll already be out, and it's going to be selling for $24.99. Now, exceptionally, we're actually going to be looking at 2 different trailers for this, simply because the first one has a nice focus on gameplay, the second one has a nice focus on some animations, and it's such a big game for this week, at least in my opinion, that I definitely wanted to highlight a bit more. Now, if you're unaware, it's a 2D action platformer where, yes, you're playing a ninja cop. And overall, it is also considered one of the best Game Boy Advance games, although I will warn, it is fairly challenging. So let's take a look at the trailers. Honestly, considering how some of the Game Boy Advance games play already on the NSO, I know that it's most likely gonna scale pretty good to the Switch. So a pretty short but straightforward trailer giving us a nice look at some of the action. And let's flip right into the second one. Slightly longer, but we get some nice animation at the beginning. And some different gameplay as well, which is why I wanted to take a look at both of them, considering on how short they were individually. Oh yeah, if you play this game, you're gonna have to expect many, many deaths. But it came out towards the end of the Game Boy Advance cycle, and it was very underprinted, which is why the game is so expensive. On top of it ending up being pretty good, it's like a perfect storm. Like I said, super excited for this release. If you have 25 bucks to spare, if you're a fan of retro gameplay, I definitely think that this is going to be an excellent place to put your money for this week. Honestly, only good things to say about this release, and not much more to say. So let's jump straight into our next game, which is going to be Taiji. Now, this game is coming out on February 25th as well, so it will be most likely out by the time you're watching the video. It is also selling for $24.99. Now, this, on the other hand, is a pixel art puzzle game. However, the gameplay looks so different from one puzzle to the other. The pixel art looks so fantastic that I really think it's going to be quite a special release. This might actually become one of the iconic puzzle games on the Nintendo Switch if the puzzles meet up to the quality that you can see in this trailer. Because the variety just keeps switching and switching from, look, this first puzzle based almost on binary code. It is actually quite impressive. Let's take a look at the trailer and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, I still have to think about that one. I'm not quite sure why that's the solution. And I'm a fan of puzzle gameplay. I said it a lot. When I want to like sort of play a game and relax, I choose puzzle games. That's like the kind of gameplay I love to play when I want a more chill time gaming. Yeah, it's going to be a pass for people who don't enjoy puzzle gameplay, but for those who do, I think this is going to be quite a stellar release. And like I said, I think the visual presentation is beautiful as well. The music sounds extremely relaxing while you're doing this, which is always necessary because sometimes when you get stuck in a puzzle, you can get a bit frustrated. By the way, quick mention, in case any of the trailers get muted as you're watching this, it's simply because there was copyright on the trailers. They will all be linked down below. So if ever one of your favorite trailers gets muted because of copyright and you want to check out the full thing, you can always click the link down below in the description of the video. Yeah, honestly, I do like all type of games. It is very rare that there's a type of game that I do not like. There's definitely a preference, but I do enjoy pretty much every type of gaming. I would say that the one type of gaming that it has to be special for me to really enjoy is rhythm-based gaming. But when I really like a game in rhythm-based gaming, I really like it. And it's just because naturally, I don't have a lot of rhythm. So it is a personal weakness there. So that is pretty much it for Taiji. So I do think that it is going to be a great pickup for puzzle fans. Next, if we jump to our next game, we are looking at February 26th. And the game is I See Red, which is a twin-stick shooter with a really original visual presentation. I have a feeling this is going to be a very challenging game. And honestly, I love the visceral pixel art here, because you'll see that a lot of the gameplay, it looks very visceral, very minimalistic in its art style, but it seems to deliver what it's looking to do. Now, this game is going to be selling for $10.99, so it's actually a pretty budget pickup as well. Can I guarantee that it's going to be stellar the gameplay-wise? No, because I can see that it could go either way. With how the gameplay is set up, it's either going to be really good or it's going to have some issues. So let's take a look. Love the music, by the way. For a game like this, hard pumping, like heavy music is the perfect way to go. I'm trying to remember the game that we played recently that it reminds me of. It was Hell something. But basically it was a twin-stick shooter, very small level based, and you had to survive waves of enemies. It reminds me somewhat of that, but this seems to be more room-based. Yeah, exactly. Nexus Creed in the chat knows what I'm talking about. But I think it's going to be one of those games, like I said, it's going to be, it feels like it's going to be a challenging experience. I'm glad to see it releasing at only $11 because that's going to give it a chance. It means some people are going to be worth taking the plunge, taking the risk on it. And the visual style is extremely appealing to me. Yes, the one I died a lot in. Yes, I died a lot in that game. So I See Red. I think you might want to wait for a review or two, or at least a bit of gameplay, like actually someone playing it on YouTube. But if it turns out to be a decent game for $11, this could be a stellar pickup for this week as well. Now, we get to one of the bigger releases for the week. We already talked about Ninja 5.0, but I think this is going to be another extremely big release for this week for a lot of people. And that is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days Collection, which is releasing on February 27th. And it'll be selling for $49.99. So it is a pretty expensive collection. But just to be clear, you're getting 14 Yu-Gi-Oh! Games in the collection. Now, these are from the Game Boy and most of the portable consoles. So it starts some from the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advanced, and I think one or two from the DS, but I can't guarantee you because I don't know each and every one of these games. I'll be totally honest, I wasn't the biggest Yu-Gi-Oh fan growing up. I knew a bit of the anime. I played a couple of the games on the portable, but I couldn't even remember which ones I actually played. However, I do think from what I've seen so far, some of the games in this collection are considered to be some really good Yu-Gi-Oh games. Some others are only passable, but some of them are actually considered to be pretty good Yu-Gi-Oh games. So I do think that if you are a fan of the Yu-Gi-Oh series, especially if you have nostalgia for the games on the portable consoles, this might actually be a really fun collection to pick up. Now, $40 feels like a lot, but if you divide it by 14 games, that's about $3.50 a game. It is, like I said, not too bad. I do believe, however, if you have a bit of patience and you don't need to pick this up day one, it is the kind of collection that most likely will receive a pretty solid discount, I would say within the next 3 months. So if you can wait a bit, I would do so for this one for this week. However, if not, and you don't mind spending the money, I don't think you'll regret it considering the quantity of games you're getting here. So let's take a look at the trailer and we'll see exactly what we're talking about. They only give little tidbits of each one of the games. So like I said, starting out in the old Game Boy. And you have some of the offshoot games as well, so not only the card games. So like I said, the original one from Game Boy. And then you got Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 on the color. This one, Dark Duels, I'm thinking it's still Game Boy Color if I'm not mistaken. And this one too, I'm pretty sure is still color. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! 4. Eternal Duelist. I think we're still on the color here. It's the next one that goes to the advanced. Yeah. I do think, if I'm not mistaken, it's the advanced games that are among some of the more considered to be better games. But once again, I don't want to go too far in that because I'm not a Yu-Gi-Oh! Specialist. But like I said, you're getting 14 games is a big collection. And here they're going to talk about a few of the offshoots. This I have no idea what it is. Looks like sort of like an RPG. Dungeon Dice Monsters. And Destiny Board Traveler. So like a board game type. Oh yeah, I think you're even going to have the ability to rewind during the duels on top of it. So online play. Hidden characters, cards, and more. That I think was already part of the original games. You can rewind, fast forward, or reset the duels, which is something that's new from what I can tell. Oh, and yes, I saw the digital gallery with the actual manuals, which is something I said that should be included in almost every retro collection. That is something that honestly, every company out there doing retro collections needs to consider, is scans of the original manuals. There's like no reason not to include that in these collections. They did that for the TMNT Kawabunga collection, if I'm not mistaken. I'm glad to see that they're doing this here for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Collection as well, especially that some of these games, the controls are maybe not going to be as easy to understand as you think, and the manuals are going to go a long way to helping you, because don't forget, a lot of these games don't have any tutorials built in, because this is back in the day where you sort of had to read the manual before playing the game. So I do think this one, you're either in or you're out, in the sense that if you have nostalgia for these games, it's going to be an easy pickup. If you've never played these games, you might want to wait for a sale. because, like I said, I think you'll have to have nostalgia to really get into the older ones. Maybe the Game Boy Advance ones and the earlier ones are going to be you'll be able to get into for anyone, but especially for the Game Boy era ones, I think nostalgia will play a big factor here. But a really nice collection to finally be seen hitting the Nintendo Switch. I think a lot of these games were pretty hard to find nowadays, but it is what it is. So we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days Collection on the 27th. Next, we have Vertical Kingdom, and I really don't know why my trailers are playing automatically when I touch them. It is really annoying. But next we have Vertical Kingdom, releasing on February 27th. This game will be selling for $19.99. There is a pre-release discount dropping it to $17.99. And this is a really original card-based city builder. I'm not sure what to expect, but I'm really liking the visuals. And the strategy element to the city builder genre feels like it could actually be something pretty interesting. And it's reminding me a lot of one of those more casual city builders where there's really no pressure and it's more just about this fun of building as you go through the different eras and whatnot. The price also seems pretty competitive for the genre, but I would have maybe liked to see it around $15. It does depend on the end how much content is going to be included here, but I do think this one would have been an easier sell around $15 considering the pixel art and all that. But let's take a look at the trailer. I still think that this is one to keep an eye on for this week. So like I said, there's card-based mechanics. It's a roguelite game as well. So I'm not exactly sure how the roguelite components play in here. So it's a pretty short trailer. I would have liked them to maybe get a little more into the details of the gameplay to really solidify it. I do think this is going to be a maybe game for this week, however. So some of the games I sometimes say wait for reviews, it's maybe suggested. This one I would definitely wait for a review. But I do think it is definitely worth keeping an eye on if you are a strategy fan, especially if you're a strategy roguelite fan. This is definitely going to be one you're going to want to have on your watch list because I feel it could go either way. If it turns out to be a really good game, it could be one of those really, really good games. And at $20, it feels like an okay place to be. Although, like I said, I would have liked it to be maybe a $5 cheaper here. So that is a Vertical Kingdom. Next, we get to another one of what I would say is a bigger release for this week. And that is going to be Glover. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with this game. If you're a fan of AVGN, the Angry Video Game Nerd, you know that he's recently done an episode dedicated on Glover. And how, for some people, this game has very bad memories. And I'm going to say I'm one of the people that this game has pretty bad memories for. So when I think of Glover, I don't remember a great, fun game. I remember an extremely frustrating game. However, if the remake addresses the control issues, and you actually watch the AVGN video and you see the second version of the game that plays a lot better than the PS1 version, because I played it on the PS1. I think it was on the Nintendo 64, if I'm not mistaken. That plays a lot better. There's actually maybe a really fun game hidden here. And this is going to be a remake remaster. So maybe they smoothed out the controls and maybe Glover can finally get the attention it deserves. So let's take a look at the trailer. And if you've never heard of Glover before, it's basically a 3D platformer where you play a sort of, I'm going to say a humanoid glove, but you're basically a glove with like a a person drawn on it that needs to carry a ball across different areas. And that's all about the game, is that you need to get the ball basically through the different levels. And that is Glover. Glover is back. Is that a good thing? I don't know. So there's a couple of actions you can do with the ball. You can pick it up, you can bound, you can dribble it, you can do a couple of actions, but basically trying to control the ball and not having it fall off the platforms is the main challenge. This is like almost like a Frogger-like level there. Like, you have no idea how many bad memories this is evoking in me right now, because I'm like, all this looks crazy fun, but there's also extreme frustration moments in this. So this game is going to be releasing basically on February 27th, and I forgot to mention the price, $19.99. The one thing I'm really happy here is they went with a pretty budget price for this, because I'm not going to lie, Glover was a full price game when it came out on those other consoles. So the fact that they're re-releasing it for $20 actually feels good. Now, it depends also on how good the rework is. If this is just a simple port with nothing, $20 is just okay. But if it's a rework that actually addresses the control issues and makes the game even more playable, it could be something really good. Now this one, once again, definitely wait for some comments on it before dropping the $20, unless you are a huge fan of Glover and you already know you love the game from the original consoles. Then for all intents purposes, you can jump on this. But if you've never heard of it before, maybe wait for a comment or two, check out the AVGN video, and you'll understand why some people have some terrible nightmares about this game. But overall, nonetheless, I think this was a definite awesome release for this week. I had to mention it, although I am unsure whether it's going to turn out to be an actual awesome purchase. So, with Glover out of the way, we are getting to another game for this week that actually has me pretty excited. And that is Freddy Farmer. Okay? Now, Freddy Farmer is going to be releasing on February 27th for only $4.99. Now, why am I so excited about this game? Well, it's because it's coming to us from a publisher that releases modern takes on retro arcade games, which is Flynn's Arcade. And I've got to say, they've released a lot of really good games. Like, they've released Goliath Depot. They've released Donut Dodo. They've released, oh my God, there's another one that I'm missing right now. But basically, they release a lot of awesome takes on modern retro arcade games, but that really chase after the feeling of those 80s arcade games, those 80s, 90s arcade games. And Freddy Farmer looks like an amazing take on those arcade games. And if it is a good game at only $5, this is going to be a stellar release. And by the way, most of their games release at between $5 to $10. Like, they are pros at releasing games at extremely budget prices. They have simple gameplay loops. However, they are challenging, they are fun, and they are replayable. And especially if you're a score chaser, these games are going to turn out to be great little arcade games. So if you're a fan of those Pac-Mans, Dig Dugs, those kind of games, Burger Time, you're going to feel right at home with these games. Like I said, most of them feel like a long lost game from the 80s or 90s that was just been rediscovered. So let's take a look at the trailer and you'll see what I'm talking about. And yes, it's from Catcade, so Topaz is going to love this game. So you have to collect the ingredients. 5 different worlds with 7 levels in each one. Might not sound like a lot, but trust me, a lot of these games, it's going to take you a while to finish the levels. Visuals look great. Gameplay, I'm loving the designs. Special Game Boy themed little underworlds. Now I'm telling you, this could be one of their best games on top of it. Donut Dodo, by the way, stellar game. It's on sale right now for $2.50, by the way, if you don't know. Freddy Farmer. This is going to be my surprise pick of the week. If you, like I said, like arcade games, you want to take a chance. $5, I don't think you can go wrong with this game. I think it's going to be a stellar surprise pick for this week. Most people will not even notice it on the eShop for this week, and it's sad because it's probably going to turn out to be a really good game. Like I said, so far, I don't remember playing a Flynn's arcade game that hasn't turned out to be good. The other one I forgot was Cash Cow. If you haven't played Cash Cow, stellar arcade game once again. Okay, moving on. Now we're getting into the really weird stuff for this week. Okay, but the next one is the least weird of the weird games. And that is going to be Omega 6, the Triangle Stars. Now, this is a 16-bit adventure RPG that is based on an anime that was actually created by the art director of Star Fox, Majora's Mask, and what else did he do? He did another really iconic Nintendo game. But basically, it's based off of his characters. And honestly, it looks extremely interesting. Now, it is one of those like first-person text-based adventure RPGs, but I have a sneaky suspicion that it's going to turn out to be a really solid one. Now, this game is going to be releasing on February 27th, and it's going to be selling for $24.99. However, there is a pre-release discount of 40% off, and I'm thinking this is a marketing strategy to get a few people to try out the game and find out whether it's good or not. For the moment, you can pick it up for $14.99. So if you think that this looks good, I rarely say to buy something on the pre-order, but for 40% off, if you want to take a chance, it is worth it, I would say. Of course, if you want to wait for a review and see if it's good, the problem is you might end up paying $24.99 if it does end up being a good game. But let's take a look at the trailer and you can decide for yourself what you think about this game. It's Takaya Imamura's anime, Omega 6. Like I said, it's a first-person text-based RPG. If you didn't grow up with these, they were iconic once again in like the 80s, early 90s. There is combat, however, and it's hard-based combat. So the combat system does look pretty interesting. You can see just that ship, you can sort of see the Star Fox influence. Like, this is gonna be my funky pick for the week. Like, if you like funky comic book style anime, I think this game could turn out to be something special. And the visuals are honestly very nice. Like, the pixel art is high quality. The use of colors is really good. So like I said, Omega 6, the Triangle Stars. Once again, you know, and it's going to be like this for this week because some of these games, you just connect with the trailers and you have this feeling that there's something that's going to be special about it. And yes, it is a imitation 16-bit. So they are clearly trying to emulate 16-bit art styles. But you just connect with them and you just have the sneaky suspicion that there's going to be something special about this game. Now, if you think this game was weird, get ready. Because we're getting into some weird shit for this week. Okay? The next 3 games are going to be like weird. Now, the first one we're going to take a look at is Anti-Paint. Now, Anti-Paint is coming out on February 27th. It's going to be selling for only $7.99. Now, this is a paint-tastic roguelike shooter where as you clear a level, you basically create a painting. It is weird as hell. But it's not even the weirdest game on the list. That will be reserved to our next game. But there's a certain genius to the gameplay at the same time. So let's take a look at the trailer because it's indescribable. You just have to sort of see it in action. So you're basically battling famous paintings. And what I love is that the gameplay seems to switch on each level. Once again, it's like an arena-based roguelike shooter. Simple, but don't forget how simple Vampire Survivor was, and it turned out to be an amazing game. I'm digging this too. Like, I don't know, man. Anti-Paint. Now, yeah. Can I guarantee that this is going to be a good game? No. But oh my God, does it have me interested. And it doesn't look like one of those cheaply made like games. Like the design choices seem very deliberate here. It's not like, oh, let's make a cheap game. It's like, this is an artistic choice to make the game look like this. And the ideas seem extremely creative. Yes. So I definitely think if you want to give a chance to something that might be far out there, this could be the one. And you know what? This could be a candidate for gameplay on Thursday. After the Pokemon Direct, if we do decide to do variety gaming, this guy could be a front runner. So we might get to figure out if this is a awful or a good game this week. But I would keep it on my radar. Anti-Paint on the 27th, only $7.99. On top of it, a pretty freaking budget price point. Now, next, we have the absolute... Oh, no, I'm going to reserve it. Wait, we're going to do this one first because I grabbed the wrong trailer. We're going to do this one first. We're going to keep the weirdest one for the before last game because it's the last game that we're going to talk about for the 27th since we go in chronological order. Let's look at this one. This one seems weird, but it seems weird, understandable. The next one is the freaky one. This one is My Night Job. Now, this game is also coming out on the 27th. It'll be selling for $12.99. Now, this game is, you're supposed to basically try to survive a night job in a home that is being attacked by waves of enemies. The art style looks extremely appealing. And once again, if they get the gameplay right, this could end up being a really fun game. And at $12.99, it's priced competitively enough where if it turns out to be some pretty fun gameplay, it's actually really well placed as well price-wise. So let's take a look at the trailer because once again, these last 3 games are really hard to describe. And the art style really looks like 90s cartoon animation. Like Ren and Stimpy, those kind of cartoons. So we have to clear out the monsters. So everything's going to depend on how clean the controls are and the gameplay. But the art style is fantastic. It's out there, but it's out there fun. So you basically have to clear out the monsters, you have to save people. Yeah, the music is crazy. If you're listening to the lyrics, the music is freaking hilarious. Once again, though, the trailer is just a bit short. It's hard to get a good idea of the full-out gameplay, how it's going to play out. But yeah, it is definitely like, oh my, like there's something about these games this week that I'm like, where the heck are they coming from? And I've got to tell you, I skip all the games that I have no confidence in. These are long shots, but I think they are decent long shots. Because if they get the gameplay right, the gameplay idea is actually really, really fun. So, My Night Job, another one to keep an eye out for this week. Keep an eye out for some gameplay. Like I said, I can't guarantee it, but on Thursday, we just might have some fun with these kind of games. Now, we are going to get to the really weird one. Now, I know I've been saying it a couple of times, but this one takes the cake, the definite cake. Now, give me a second here. I'm going to just pause all these trailers so that we stop getting like tidbits of the audio. And I think I just figured out why they were doing that. Now, not only is the game looking crazy, but the trailer is insane. So the game is The Zebra Man. It is coming out on February 27th. It sells normally for $14.99, but there is a pre-release discount of bringing it down to $11.24. Now, the one thing I have to say about these trailers is they don't give, once again, an overall great idea of the gameplay. But the trailers are so freaking crazy with live action parts, that there's no way I couldn't show them for this week because they're just like out there. The closest I can get from a feeling of the gameplay is it seems to have like Hotline Miami influences. Like when you do see tidbits of the gameplay and tidbits of action, it makes me feel of that top-down Hotline Miami type gameplay, over the top, but not as polished, however, but at the same time, there seems to be more storyline elements here. So let's take a look. There's 2 trailers we're going to look at for the Zebra Man because I want to get as much view of the gameplay as we can. But let's take a look.
You get him, motherfucker. Huh? What?
It opens up great.
Yo, can't talk right now. I'm playing the Cyberman. You know it?
I love how he's holding a Nintendo controller, an NES controller.
Shit. Here we go again. The Cyberman. It's an 8-bit grindhouse adventure filled with self-defense classes.
An 8-bit grindhouse adventure.
Characters. And a very interesting humor.
It's zebra time.
I love how you just see puta madre there.
The
Like,
story is divided in 5 dope-ass chapters, which are Breaking Free, The Most Delightful Day Ever, Unholy Business, Midnight Psycho, and Missing Reels. Oh, right. There are also some, let's say, twists in the story. For example, I'm one of the characters. Me! I mean, can you even imagine what the reviews will be like?
The zebra.
like honestly, I'm speechless because I just don't know what to say about it.
We'll be a bit delayed to cancels, cause they're censoring the shit out of us. But in Steam, you can play it today. Although, not today. Right fucking now!
Are you? Yeah, when I said I kept the craziest for the last of the 27 games, I wasn't joking. Is there a little bit left? No, I don't. Oh, yeah. Okay, and just because this was so awesome, we have to watch part 2 of the trailer. This one has a little bit more gameplay. It's a little more straightforward. It's not as much crazy stuff, but I just wanted to take a more look at the gameplay. So you have to escape a secret lab. Explore the city. Pet the dog. Or be pure chaos. So the game looks awesome. Honestly, it looks awesomely crazy. Why did Chap Dancer delete all Nexus's Creed's messages? Did you block Nexus Creed? Okay, I'll get into that later. But yeah, the Zebra Man. Like I'm rarely speechless during trailers, but I was speechless. Okay, that game looked insanely amazing. Is the only word I can say. And honestly, yeah, $14.99. This might be worth streaming. Now, apparently it's going to be censored as hell on the Switch. That's what he says in the trailer. In Steam, apparently we can play the uncensored version. I didn't check out reviews. I purposely try to not all the time check out reviews when we do these, just because I want to get my reactions from the trailers. I want to see what we can see from the trailers and get like an honest reaction from them. But it's something that might be a good idea if you want to maybe pick this up. Check on Steam to see what the game is getting. Now we have one game left for this week. It is the Soul game coming out on the 28th. And that is a Justice Ninja Casey that is going to be selling for $5.99. And it is the port of an SNES game from Japan that never made its way to the Western side of the world. And basically, it makes me think a lot of the SNES River City games. Okay, it makes me think a lot of those games. It seems to be like a side-scrolling, like beat 'em up action game. And at $5.99, it's a pretty good budget price. However, I wasn't able to find any reviews on the original game in Japan to see if it was well regarded or not. But it looks pretty solid from the action here. And at this budget price point, if you're a fan of retro gaming, you like games that like were never really available in North America before, this can be possibly a really interesting pickup. Let's take a look at the trailer. It does look, however, like a pretty straightforward port, however. Maybe just like remastered in HD. Not even, because there's no, the screen is bordered. But honestly, for an SNES game, the animation looks pretty solid. The pixel work looks really interesting. There's slight RP. Oh yeah, I remember reading the description. There are slight RPG elements. So there's actually two gameplay modes. You have a straightforward like action mode where you don't have RPG mechanics, and then there's a story mode where you do have progression. So you're going to be able to build up your character as you play through the game. But honestly, it looks solid for an SNES game, and there's co-op included as well, so you can play with a friend. Really, really interesting pickup. And at only $6, it could be a steal. On top of it, it's a Sunsoft game. A lot of the Sunsoft games that didn't make it here are like little hidden gems. So I would not discount this game. This could be a really nice pickup for only $6. So there we have it. The new Nintendo Switch games for this week. And we looked at 12 games, going from some pretty solid pickups to some really far out there crazy ideas that just might turn out to be some pretty great games. Let me know in the comments down below what was your favorite game from the 12 games listed this week. Also, let me know if I maybe missed out on any games that you think I should have highlighted that maybe I missed and I didn't see on the list. As usual, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you aren't already, and click on that notification bell. And as usual, I hope I'll see you guys in my next video. Aha! I sneaked the outro on you guys so you couldn't mess me up. I sneaked it. I sneaked it in a one shot. There we go, boys. Success! Yeah, seriously, that Zebra Man game, eh? Come on. That shit looks amazing. That shit looks amazing. Zebra Man? Oh my god. And I love the dude, man. He's in his own trailer. He made the game. He's shirtless with a freaking zebra mask on. Like, oh no, it's a raccoon. Raccoon Tanuki, whichever there is over there. This guy looks freaking insane. This part, man, like the horror movie with the chainsaw is pretty freaking awesome. I guess
divided in 5 dope-ass chapters, which are...
Oh, man. Honestly, I don't know if I want to put myself through Glover. Like, I'm so scared that they didn't update the controls and that it's going to be like the original Glover game. And, like, there's frustrating, challenging, fun, and then there's frustrating, challenging, frustrating. That game is challenging, frustrating, challenging, just frustrating if they didn't fix the controls. And, like, the one good thing, okay, because, okay, let's explain why Glover is bad on the PS1. The PS1 did not have joysticks. The PS1 only had a D-pad. but the game was definitely made to be played with a joystick. And if I remember well, that's why the N64 game plays so well or so much better, is that you do have the joystick on the N64 controller. When has that ever stopped you? Yeah, I understand you guys like seeing me get pissed off and stuff on stream, but, you know, sometimes I actually like playing games I enjoy, not games that I want to kill myself. But you can really blame the controller. But what I was getting to is that, obviously, because we have joysticks on our controllers, most likely, even if it's the original controls, Glover is going to control more like the N64 and be better, like the better version of the game than the worst version of the game. So I do think that one way or the other, it's probably going to be the better version. It's just that I hope they would even brush it up more. You understand what I mean? Like, really modernize the controls so that it's as smooth as a 3D platformer would need to be nowadays. Because, like, they're like, let's not lie. Like, Mario 64 aside, 3D platformers have become more responsive over time. But yeah, no, it's like, when I was looking through the games this week and I saw Anti-Paint, My Night Job, and Zebra Man, I was like, do I actually put these games on the list? Like, they look batshit crazy, but do I actually put them on the list? Can it be worse than Alt F4? No, it can't. Because Alt F4 is specifically trying to piss you off. Like, the point of the game is to piss you off. Like, the point of the game is to make you rage quit. Like, I literally think that the guy that made Alt F4 is sad when someone doesn't rage quit his game. I think, like, if someone, like, plays a game and is like, hey, this is fun, I think the guy is disappointed that made the game. I don't know if you guys get that feeling, but I get that feeling that the guy making the game might actually be disappointed when someone likes his game. His point is to have someone like be like, I can't do this shit anymore. You guys remember in Alt F4 when I almost made it to the top of the tower and I messed up like 3 jumps from the end and I was just like, nope, 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 no more. Like the super long level, the one where you had to like jump, like, you know, across the freaking swinging platforms, up to the top, across the saws, then down the side of the building, around that little wall, and then you had to jump like up the platforms around the side of the tower. Oh my god, that was such garbage. Yeah, it was probably a great stream for you guys. No, but I'm joking. It was fun in the end because... But it's the kind of game, it's fun because I'm streaming and I'm with you guys and it's entertaining. If I was alone playing that game, it would just be freaking frustrating. You know what I mean? Yeah, Alex was trolling me. Alex made me play the game. He's the one who's like, hey, you have to play Alt F4. Like, if he didn't tell me to play the game, I would have never played it. So it was 100% his fault that we played that game. Yeah, no, and I love it. Like, honestly, exactly. But I wouldn't. If Alex was too nice to me, it ruined the relationship. So it's good that he's trolling me. It is sad that now because he's in England, like he can't come by as much because like basically over there right now it's like it's like 6 a.m. something like that, or 8 a.m. But yeah, like that was fun times when you would stop by. Yeah, 6 hours ahead. So yeah, it's like 8 a.m. because it's almost 2 a.m. where I am. Sometimes I like to play games that are actually good. Yeah, no, but like, you know, because there's good and then there's like good challenging. And from time to time, like when we played the puzzle game, like Desvelado, like I want to play a game that Desvelado is challenging. It's just challenging, but I know I can beat it easily because it's like right in my wheelhouse. And it's not made to be overly challenging. Maybe except that last level, but I actually got it pretty easily. Like, if you consider that it took me less than 10 tries to get that last level. Or no, maybe I was around 10 tries, 10 to 12 tries. But for the last level of a game, and we finished the whole game in like an hour and a half, I think I did pretty freaking good on that puzzle game. On top of it, we got all the optional objectives as well. You think it was more than an hour and a half? Because if you think about it, we played through the AVGN demo. And I played through that game. And I stopped at one point for like 10, 15 minutes to talk about Power Rangers. And I streamed from 2 to 5. So in 3 hours, I played through AVGN. I stopped 15 minutes and I played the game. Like, it couldn't have really taken more than 2 hours. Oh, more than 10 times. Yeah, you were late, Frenchie Mom. You were late. But yeah. West of Dead pissed me off. Something fierce. It was before we counted deaths, yeah. Back in the days, before you guys counted how many times I died in a game. Okay. So, hey, guys, I think I'm going to head out now, though, because we've had a fun time. We've been streaming for, like, close to 3 hours. We had a technical difficulty there at the beginning of stream. Exactly. I want to get some rest, get this video out tomorrow, hopefully work on some content. I would like to do a little piece on the Power Rangers game. I think the update to the Power Rangers game deserves a separate video, especially that I never officially reviewed the Power Rangers game. So I think it actually would feel nice to do a playthrough of Power Rangers with the new options. And like do a sort of piece on how the Power Rangers game is an even better game now. Pre-ordered the collector's edition. Yeah, me too. Me too. I have the collector's edition ordered as well. By the way, guys, don't forget Cyber Shadow Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Like, what is that? Like 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you guys want Cyber Shadow, I would not wait to pre-order. I would definitely try to pre-order day one. I would not be surprised if we run out of copies. So, hey, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for the support. You guys were great. We got some awesome support tonight. Thank you so much for showing up. We had like 30 viewers a whole night for a Warp Zone. Honestly, I'm really enjoying the fact that a lot of people are coming by. I hope the audience keeps growing. And like I said, don't forget, if you do want to check out the replay, or if you want to direct someone to the replay, it is going to be on the second channel tomorrow. So thanks so much for showing up. Have a great rest of your evening for anyone who's not going to bed. Love y'all. And as usual, hope I'll see you in my next video. Have a great night, everyone.